Okay, hold on. My bad. Didn't hit the button. Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me? Okay, here we go. I was doing all this damn talking. Can you guys hear me now? Let me know. That means I got to start it all over again. Yeah. I was deep into the conversation too. All right, my bad. So let me do a little rough draft because if people didn't hear me for what I was saying because I was talking this whole time. Let me start off again. And if you've heard this already and didn't say anything, then that's cool. That's my bad. But anyway, the funny thing about this is if you followed me, if you've listened to me from day one, and if you haven't been subscribed to my channel, all that other stuff, like I said earlier, hey, I don't see why not. But if you first heard me on Multiplayer or on BGST or Next Podcast or even on GRG or even as a guest on somebody else's podcast or whatever, you've always heard me say, kept that same energy when it came to about how gaming was about to change, how the future of gaming was not going to look like it did in the beginning of this generation. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because if you go back to the multiplayer days, I mean, we're talking about years ago. Because I mean, I don't know. I've been doing YouTube for about 4.5 years now, something like that. And I remember that when you say, hey, man, cut off his mic. This dude's retarded. I would read the chat. The chat would be all in my ass. They'd be disrespecting me. His dumb ex-bot, man, he's this, that. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. All this and all that. And if you go back and you look at all this stuff, not to say that I'm right, but, I am. I made this point. And that's the reason why I was telling Porter Rock, I was telling everybody else on that panel, all of them, Z, all of them. Look, I understand PlayStation is the market leader. I understand that PlayStation has most of the consoles. I know that they are the darlings of this generation. I get all that. But if you looked from the outside looking in, you could see that the patterns of what PlayStation was doing, how they started off with the whole passing the you gotta excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather, but passing of the discs, when Boys and Yoshida was standing there, and they played this generation off so well by giving their dynamic, while Xbox didn't know what the hell they were doing. They had a message. Well, Xbox had a plan, but their messaging was absolutely horrid. PlayStation had that, and they were doing their thing. And the one issue about all that, right, is slowly but surely, didn't matter about the console sales, didn't matter about all that. PlayStation was constantly doing the same things that Microsoft was doing, and PlayStation fans just didn't want to see it, or they didn't pay attention to it, or they didn't even want to hear it. Now we come to this point. And ladies and gentlemen of the court, I have to put this in here, man, because this is funny. This is funny to me, right? And there's no disrespect to the individuals, that I'm going to show what they're saying. But all I got to ask for my PlayStation brethren out there, because we're all gamers here at the end of the day. We're all gamers here. Is this your king? Is this your king, PlayStation Nation? And before you jump off the ship real quick and say, no, man, no, bro tripping, no. Just a week ago, the things that he's saying now, you were saying about Xbox, and everything about that was okay. Before you jump ship and say, no, bro tripping, you were defending what he was saying and others has said about Xbox. Don't change now. See, I said this on Twitter yesterday. And I meant this, and I've said this before. I said that there's going to be a point where the people who has built their channels off of this rhetoric are going to have to do one of two things. They're going to have to go all the way with it, or they're going to flip-flop and change their narrative. So the people who stood by what Sick Humor has said, and look, you can't fault the man for being direct and honest about what how he feels, and he's going balls to the wall. Now, do I feel personally that this is too far? Yeah, I think this, because as an Xbox fan, we were hearing this from plenty of PlayStation stands out there about how we are how we are letting Phil Spencer and Xbox devalue their console. We are showing he does not give a damn about the hardcore because they're sending their games elsewhere. And so right here, as you say, he says Sony has no fucking backbone. These niggas caved to the crossplay, caved to other services being in login, caved to developing and funding a baseball game that is now multi-plat. They don't stand for shit and definitely don't listen to fans because we didn't ask them to do any of it. Right now, so hold on for a second. Hold on now. I need my church music. I need to get my little thing, man, so I can start clowning. But this is the thing right here, right? He's keeping the same energy. And you can't fault him for that. He's been about this isn't right for gaming, or this no console should ever try to do this and do that and blah blah blah, right? He's going all out. He's got the post. He's saying he's been about this all day today and yesterday, right? Slick Slayer, what's a stand? Okay, if you remember Eminem, he had a song called Stan, and it was the fan that was really crazy. And so I don't know if you listen to that album, I think that's one of Eminem's best albums, to be honest with you. But that's what a stan is, like just a crazed fan, just out of this world. And that's why I try to say, that's why I try to say, because there's plenty of PlayStation fans. I'm a PlayStation fan, but I'm not a stan. And even though somebody might want to try to call me a Xbox stan, whatever. I mean, I've criticized the Xbox when I felt that they needed to. Maybe not as much as some would want me to, but of course, we all have different thoughts and opinions about everything. But I'm never going to go to the point of giving Xbox a pass if there's something that I don't like what they're doing. That's just, a stan will allow anything and everything to go, and even sound crazed on doing it if they, what I'm saying? That's what a stan is. So I know, so that's what it is, right? That's why I call them stans, because I try to separate from the actual PlayStation fans, which is millions upon millions, and they don't deserve to be put in that category with the stans. They just don't. And so, but back to my point. This is what I'm talking about right here, in the sense of when you take things too far, these things tend to backfire. And that was what I was expressing to the brothers out there on the panel on Multiplayer, on Next Podcast, everywhere else on GRG. You know what I'm saying? Just saying, look, on BGST, I've tried to explain this. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, look, it's all good. It's all right. But we have to accept the fact that PlayStation isn't immune to what the industry is doing. And listen, the hardcore, and I've said this too, and this might piss the hardcore off, but this is the facts. The hardcore does need to be paid attention to, but only to a certain extent. The hardcore can destroy shit by being so gung-ho about a certain thing and not wanting to see other things prevail or succeed, because they have this mindset that change is not good. Games is more expensive than ever. When I read that PlayStation report, I've said this before. If you want a God of War 2 or Horizon Dawn 2, you want that game to be the same, or you want that game to be better than the previous version that you played. Everybody's going to say they want the game to be better. Doesn't matter if it's just small, intricate things, or if it's just, better design, better looking graphics, whatever the case may be. But you want every game that has a sequel to be better in one way, shape, or form. And I don't know what the budget of God of War was or Horizon Zero Dawn cost, but I know it wasn't cheap. You know what I'm saying? So, it wasn't cheap. And that's the thing that I'm trying to say. It's like, look, all these gamers, and especially with these other people that just wants everything for fucking free, but they don't want to pay for nothing. They don't want to pay for nothing. Man, I don't want to pay for DLC. I don't want to pay for cosmetics. I don't want to pay $60 for a game. I don't want to pay this. I don't want to pay that. But you want every but I want the best, the latest, the greatest console games ever. How you think they're going to pay for that? They got to find ways to pay for that. And so since they don't want to raise prices on games to $70-$80, that looks really bad, and they'll turn a lot of people off, so they have to make options. One is to try to get games to other audiences. And I'm keeping that energy. I have kept that energy. What's up, Don? Dion, my bad. I've kept it. I'm saying, look, the console is only going to get devalued if the customer of the fan base decide that it's devalued. It's not whatever that Xbox decides to do with their games. Is it going to change what I'm going to do when I buy the Scarlet? I'm not getting the Lockhart. I'm getting the Scarlet because I want the best. They didn't talk me into buying this QLED and the LG and the Sonys and all these damn 4K televisions and spend all this type of money on these TVs just for me to play on something that's insignificant. I want the best. That's what I want. And that's what a lot of other gamers, they especially the hardcore, that's what they want too. They want the biggest and the best. So for spending all this money on making the PlayStation 5 better than whatever PlayStation that you've ever played previous, and having all these features and everything else, and so you think, and then these games are going to be crazy, they're going to look crazy, they're going to play crazy, they're going to have these crazy ass budgets. Just think about this for a second. You got to pay for the actors, you got to pay for props, hell, the electricity to stay on, you got to pay for the production of where, the music and all of it. Man, that shit costs grip. And you get mad because they're gonna send that to the PC nation who's hungry and starving for your PlayStation titles? Are you kidding me? Are you really that vain? Like I said, a lot of these PlayStation cats, these stands have to eat crow. And what you see right there of what that dude, you got to give him credit for being real about his shit. But you got to also look at that and shake your head like, damn, it's not that serious. You can make the PlayStation better than it's ever been by just sticking with it, supporting it. Making it have its 100 million plus consoles for the next generation, and then also having PC and whoever else that wants that's going to get there, like Xbox, because and Nintendo getting baseball. All that money's going back to Sony. All that money's going back to Sony. That's the same stuff we were saying, like, hey, Halo, when Halo finally dropped, and this is what's crazy. This is what's crazy. That somebody called me K Megadamus. It was kind of funny. I like that. But anyway, because I said we had this argument. I never forgot it. We had an argument on multiplayer, and I remember it was me all day, Porter Rock, and Z, and there was and I forgot there was somebody else that was a guest there, and I made the point because they kept throwing to me about, Halo 5 is going to drop into PC. You lost your, Xbox lost all credibility. They ain't got no games. That's when that shit first came out. Xbox got no games. They got no exclusives. Halo 5 is going to go up there to PC, which Halo 5 never did yet. But I said, how did Xbox lose anything? How is Xbox losing? How is Xbox losing any bit of that money for when they're expanding their games, to another audience? That's millions upon millions. That's way more people that's playing on PC than there is on consoles. So how is that a loss? How did they lose anything? It's not the same. It's just not the same. So I cannot wait for these videos to stop. I don't be checking out everybody's videos and shit anymore. I got other things to do. But I'm definitely going to be paying attention here pretty soon. I'm definitely going to be paying attention. All that money that they're going to get on top of all the success that PlayStation has had this generation, I don't see how any PlayStation fan would even hate this. This is great for them. They're getting, you know what I'm saying? This is what's it's bizarre as hell to me. What's going on? And then everybody's talking about, I'm moving to PC now. That's going to be my primary. Good luck with that shit. Good luck. Because like I said, there's a lot of cats out there that's been talking about they're going to get this, they're going to get that, they're going to have the bomb-ass PC, and they still got a 480p monitor in their damn house with a damn old HP, Hewlett Packard, you know what I'm saying, sitting up there running AOL. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear that trash. You have no idea what PC life is like. I had to find out the hard way because I kept making mistakes. And it's not all that great. Not all the time. You got to spend the money. And when you get it, and yeah, games will run fantastic. You got to, but just think about this scenario. Let's think about the Red Dead shit, right? PC fans went crazy over the Red Dead thing. And then what happened? It was just something that they had to patch up themselves to get it to actually operate the way that they wanted to. So think for a second that you're going to go all out on a PC. You're going to buy a $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 card, graphics card. That's just one item, which is more than any console. Get you a brand new tower, which is probably the cheapest thing. Go get you a CPU that can push that shit, which is going to cost you some bread. You got some pretty good deals on the CPUs. I mean, because I got my Ryzen 7 for a good price. Or, if you want to get the whatever, I ain't gonna try to go through all the rest of the names of the other chipsets. But regardless, Intel. I was trying to think of the other one. Yeah, Intel. But whatever the case may be, you got to get that. Then you got to look at the motherboard, because you can't just slap that shit in that HP Packard and think all that shit's going to work for you, because it might not. As a matter of fact, I tell you, it ain't if you still got a 480p monitor. Then on top of that, to get your best results, you're going to have to buy a better monitor. See, that's when I got to upgrade my monitor. Appreciate it, Mirror XT8, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. You got to invest into so much. And if you want cooling, if you're going to really go all out, you got to get a cooling system. You got to get all types of shit. You got to have that shit to breathe. Man, it is a lot of work. So when I was working on my PC, when my hard drive went out, I tried to be cheap with it and use my old hard drive because it was 4 gigs, and it worked fine. It worked perfect. And then that damn thing start tripping out. Everybody told me beforehand, Don, Lemon, you know what I'm saying? Even 100. They was like, man, you're going to have to upgrade that old shit, man. You're going to have to do it. I'm like, no, I'm good. Shit start messing up. What I had to do, had to spend another couple of $100 so I can get me some better shit, the good shit. Could give me an M.2, give me an M.2, so that can just run off of the off of my motherboard. Not you know what I'm saying? Get that, because it's different from a SSD. It is an SSD, but it's different. It looks like a small little slither. But regardless of that, like I'm saying, thousands of dollars I spent into this PC, and this is not even my primary thing to use. It's not. So that's the thing to me is good luck. If you too cheap to buy a 4K television or a PlayStation Pro, what the fuck makes you think you're going to go ahead and go all in on a PC? That's what I'm trying to figure. That's what I don't understand. You best just stick with your PlayStation and just deal with this new era and be cool with it. There's no need to be mad at Sony for them doing what is best for the company and for the gamers. The casuals has spoken. The casuals move the market, not the hardcore. The hardcore are the first adopters. They're the ones that get the buzz out. They're the ones that are the loyal supporters. They already know that they got you. But who Sony wants is the casuals. That's who got them over the 100 million. It wasn't the hardcore. You know what I'm saying? And also Slick Slayer. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Sorry. Because Lemon told me that you told him that I needed to get that. So you're absolutely right. What up, Salty? So that's the shit that I'm talking about right now. Is PlayStation fans should not be upset. Xbox fans had to hear this, had to hear this, had to hear this. And I found it to be very, 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 very funny and ironic as hell because now you got to deal with it. And it ain't going to stop because now I've seen people that had videos where they're crying, and then there was people that loyal PlayStation fans saying if they find out that that rumor is true from that Russian, there's a lot of Russian shit going on if you haven't paid attention, from that Russian coming from that made the rumor about Horizon Zero Dawn going to PC in 2020. He said he's done. He said he is done. Done. He said he's done. And this is another crazy thing too, right? Like, why would you be done? If you are loyal to that console like that, if you made money off of that console, you made a brand off of the PlayStation fan base, you're just gonna walk away from them like that? Is that easy? Don't that kind of look kind of suspect to a real PlayStation fan out there? Shouldn't that be? Hold on, look at this. We ain't done. We ain't done. We're just getting started. We're just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. Just getting started. Now, I showed you Slick Slayer, right? You got to give him props for being right on point, right? So I guess you got to do the same thing for Jack Move Johnny, right? You got to do the same thing. But you know what? I seen what David Jaffe said. It was messy. It was messy. Now, are these tweets and these videos that these guys be saying is like way over the top? I totally agree. But listen, just a week ago, it was okay. It was okay to say this about Xbox. That's what I'm trying to say. So if this isn't, you don't jump off the wagon yet, because this is your king. These are your kings, because you have followed and listened to this dumb shit for years, and you have spread that garbage to everybody and made even those damn people believe that PlayStation wasn't going to forsake you. Tell me I'm lying, chat. Tell me I'm lying. And then what happened? The reality hit. Reality can be disappointing. I love that gif when Thanos said that shit, right? Listen what he said. Horizon Zero Dawn. And hold on, let me go back to this one point. I sit there on GRG this past Friday. We had a topic about, hey, should PlayStation fans be worried about how PlayStation is, the direction of where PlayStation is going? You know what type of shit I get? I get a lot of messages, right? Shut your fat ass up, Mega. You're a liar. Nobody likes you. That really? I mean, I'm asking a question as a gamer, as people who have used this they use this rhetoric and been saying that they don't, PlayStation is not going to do this. They can't. There's no reason to. They're the market leader. And I said, there should be more PlayStation fans talking about this and wondering, because this has been, from their standards, a bad year. Wasn't at the big conferences, didn't really show anything. The games that they showed, they had very low scores when people care about that type of trash. And you know what? When they start talking bad about those games, what did I say? Enjoy it. Don't worry about no damn Metacritic score. Don't worry about OpenCritic or any of that other shit. Just play the game and see if you like it or not. Now, I do take my jabs at Death Stranding only because that man disrespected my country, my people. Basically called us basically called us just dumbass Americans that just like to shoot shit up. And the world is speaking and saying, we don't get this shit either. But let's read this right fast. Horizon gets rumored for PC launch. Jack is just one game. Chill, my dude. XBL gets added to PS4 for Minecraft. Jack is just one game. Chill, my dude. MLB, the show, becomes multi-plat. Jack, it's just one game. Chill, my dude. How many just one game are we gonna have? And then we already heard his crazy ass rant. Listen. Don't jump off the boat if you've been one of those guys that were always, or ladies that were always saying that same shit to Xbox fans. Don't do it now. Don't jump off the boat now. Like, I already see some of them trying to maneuver. They trying to be slick with it. We just got to adjust. Well, I think Spider-Man might be in jeopardy now. Oh, well, you know, we just have to just tolerate it. But no. You know what? That gift that you always used to show, that you always show, hate to see it, that flies by. I hate to see it, bruh. You ain't gonna slide this way. There might be people that might listen to you and say that, man, you're right. No. You keep that same energy. You jump up, you stay on this same troop, the same boat with these fellas, and go to the other side. Go to the PC Nation. Go over there. Go over there to the PC Master Race. Go over there. Stay there. Go do it. Go all the way. Because I remember some of these people also saying as well, hey, if you decide, if any game goes, if I play God of War or any of these other those big titles that I play on PC, I'm done with PlayStation. I'll never play on Play. What happened? What? It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. It is happening right before our eyes. And Sony, like I said, is not immune to it. Xbox already knew what they had to do. This was, when the whole talk, when Xbox was supposed to be scared of revealing their numbers because they were getting beat so bad, no, they already had a plan. These plans isn't brand new. Listen, this shows you how much power money has within this industry because they need it to sustain, to make great games for us to be entertained so we can still keep buying their products. But the MLB was like, look, this shit ain't working right now, bruh. It's doing okay, but we want more of that money. And EA was sitting there waiting. And trust me, EA would have did everybody dirty. EA would have did them real dirty. Would have did the show would have did Sony real dirty because they were waiting in the wings from what I've read and from what people have told me. And MLB was ready to take that deal. Some even said that Microsoft was in there, was involved. I have no idea about that. I think that's just probably maybe some Xbox fans that just want to throw, Phil in the picture or whatever. But regardless, it wouldn't have mattered because if EA got it, it still would have went multi-plat. So let's think about this. Let's think about this for a second. If, let's just say, because Sony didn't stick to their morals, their so-called keeping things exclusive morals, and lost that deal, and then MLB went ahead with EA, what do you think today would have been like? You think those people would have said, "Oh, what's up, JD Gamer?" You think those people would have said, "No, we're good with that. We're good. We're happy that Sony stood their ground and fought that." No, they'd be pissed. They still would be mad. Why Sony didn't do this? Why Sony didn't do that? There would be people that would be really upset, and then they would want to boycott EA for bringing a service to the gamers because gamers do like playing baseball games, just like they like playing football, soccer, basketball, hockey. So Sony did what they had to do. They have a great baseball game. I mean, last year's was pretty. I haven't played this year's yet. I downloaded it because it was free. But last year's and the year before, I thought the year before was a lot better. Last year's, a lot of home runs, hit a lot of fucking home runs, but it still played great. Got still one of the best season games to give you a great season. A season mode. You know what I'm saying? It's better. It's way better than Madden's franchise mode. And 2K has great franchise mode, but it's 2K is 2K. Let's go on right for that. But the show is a great baseball game. It's fantastic. And for people to be upset that PlayStation is over here going to get more fans is also stupid to me, because they're making the money. They're making the money for this. And they're going to make a better game for this, from all the extra revenue that they're going to get. So I don't see why anybody would be tripping at all. And just think about that, going back to my point, because I kind of lost track, is that the PlayStation fans would have still been upset. Well, I should say the stands would have still been upset because they lost it to EA. And what do you think the Nintendo and Xbox and PC fans would have been doing on social media? Oh, look like you got your scalebound moment. And look, you know me, I try not to get to get my feet too muddy, but I definitely would have to show a couple of pics. You know me, I don't want to I ain't trying to get over messy or nothing like that, but I would have to show a couple of pics, laughing it off a little bit. So that's what I'm saying. So even like Elite said, MLB struggles to sell 1 million to 100 million consoles. Now, see, I don't know the numbers. I don't care about the numbers. I know that there was people on my back because I posted some stuff about Halo Master Chief Collection or just Reach selling over 2 million copies. And I didn't say anything. I just posted, oh, you pocket watching. No, I just post stuff because when I posted the shit about PlayStation hitting over 100 million, I said, congrats. I didn't hear nobody say nothing about that. When I posted stuff about Nintendo Switch, selling and winning Black Friday and things like that, I didn't hear nothing about that. So keep that same energy. I just post the news. Now, I always do things with a method, of course. Because when I posted that stuff and said it about Sea of Thieves overtaking or still around, basically, and is doing better than Death Stranding, that's all me just saying. It's not about the sales number, because I wouldn't care if Sea of Thieves sold 5 copies and Death Stranding sold 1. The whole point of the matter was it's going back to stuff that I've said in previous months, weeks, days, months, years, of saying what I've said about Sea of Thieves and how I've still stayed and support Sea of Thieves. And look at where Sea of Thieves is at, and look at Death Stranding. Fuck the sales numbers. I'm just laughing at that. So, again, there's always a method to my madness. So, again, I don't know. I feel bad for Sony and for the Sony management and things like that, because they're doing the right thing. They're doing what is necessary for the company, for the gamers, and to have people that act like this is absolutely atrocious. And that, to me, is why I say it's okay to listen to the hardcore every once in a while, but don't listen to them all the time, because they'll hold you back. And Sony got it. Sony gave, but also Sony they gave false advertising. And see, another thing is this too. Sony better be glad that the casual market don't give a fuck about this shit like we do. Sony better be glad that the casual market don't pay attention to all of the spin and all the rhetoric that they were giving all this whole generation. And then those people would believe that stuff, kind of like how these hardcore stands do. And then they find themselves feeling lost, acting reckless. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I don't know what that is. There's some kind of crazy revenue stuff. I don't know what that stuff is. Anyway, but I don't know, JD Gamer. But other than that, That's the thing to me that's a trip, right? Like, it's wild. I think that the industry itself is moving forward, and people just got to deal with it. And then, one of my last points on this as well is listen, these people that's still crying about, I want gaming to be like it used to be, it shouldn't change, it shouldn't be this way. You know what I'm saying? I know that you're gamers, but I don't consider you being a true gamer, because gaming has always changed and evolved from the beginning of time. There's things that's happened that I didn't like, that I wish that would come back, that or companies or console systems. I hate the fact that the Dreamcast didn't succeed. How is it that everybody loved I haven't seen one person on social media down talk the Dreamcast. But the Dreamcast is dead. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, there's things that I don't like about certain things, like the whole thing. I'm not the biggest VR fan. I don't care about it. But I don't want people to not have it. But I'm not going to sell out completely because of it. I'm not going to sell out and say, I'm not going to purchase this, or I'm not going to support this because of, then you're part of the problem. You're just no different than these guys. Just talking about fuck PlayStation, and that they're not gonna buy that, they're not gonna buy anything from PlayStation, or they're not gonna buy an Xbox, or they're not gonna buy a Nintendo because Nintendo hasn't made a proper thing, a proper console to go to TV, or I'm not jumping on this bandwagon for that. But it's ridiculous. We play games to be entertained. We take this shit really too seriously sometimes. We get really overboard about this shit a lot, and there's no need to. Let these companies do what they do. These people make these big money, and trust me, if they don't do right, they get fired, they get demoted, they get the boot. So, enjoy the ride, ladies and gentlemen. I think now we actually see. What'd you say, Rain? Actually, Dreamcast was the test console for Sega. The OG Xbox was really no, I understand that, because they were going to make a new Xbox. They was going to make a new Sega console, which was, I forgot what, Uranus, I think that was going to be called, or something like that. I forgot. But regardless of the fact, it didn't get supported. And that's the sad thing about it, because it was way ahead of its time. Like, I can tell you this now. I hated the Nintendo 64 controller, but people swear up and down it's one of the best, because when they were playing this certain game, I bought my son a Nintendo 64. I bought him the Nintendo 64 and the GameCube. Couldn't stand those controllers. That's why I barely played on them. I played on them with him, played a couple of games with him, because he loves Smash Brothers. And he liked playing some other games, playing some Dragon Ball Z or some Yu-Gi-Oh! Or some other stuff like that. But I was mostly on my PlayStation. Or my at the time, around that time, the Dreamcast, and then eventually the LG Xbox later on in that time. So listen, everybody has to adapt and has to learn that these things change. I don't see anybody bitching about car CDs anymore. I don't understand why people think that gaming can't change, but everything else around them can. Cars change, appliances change. Hell, houses is even being built different. Everything is different around us. So why is it that our gaming can't be different either? Why is it that you got to downplay gaming services when you don't buy as many games as I or Tim Dog or 100 or maybe Salty's Game or Bloody or whoever else? Like, people don't be buying $700,000 games. Nobody don't have as many games as Randar Thor. You see what I'm saying? That's just, so why is it that it's not logical to some people to think that, oh, well, it's not, it doesn't make any sense. It's downgrading gaming when you have this service. So the only thing I got to say on that aspect is that you bet not have ever in your entire life went to Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, or some kind of local store and rented a damn game. Or Redbox. You bet not ever have done it in your entire life, because if you did and you're making this stance now, you're a fucking fraud. Facts. Facts. It's no different. It just looks different because it's all digital. Nothing's wrong with this. You don't have to support it. You can do it the old traditional way. Hell, they still make discs. You can still buy copied games. But don't hate and say that you want all this other shit eradicated and you just want things to be your way. I find it quite pleasurable to have to go ahead and buy a game digitally, because I don't have to go and trade some shit in or go into a store and maybe get talking to trade something in, because I might walk in and see something else I might want. I want to keep my games. That was the biggest problem during the 360 PlayStation 3 era. I got rid of so many games, and then when they did backwards compat, I had to go rebuy a lot of them because I traded them in for other games. That didn't, to me, I enjoy having a library that I could go to and look at and be proud of, and I could go back and play those games anytime. Now, maybe other people may not, but it is what it is. So, I don't know, man. I just wanted to get it off my chest and wanted to talk about it. Thank you guys for coming and checking it out. As usual, check us out on Friday night on the GRG podcast at 8:30. And on the next podcast on Xbox 44H channel at what time is it? It's 6 o'clock Central my time, but it's 8:30. GRG's 8:30 Central my time. 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern and 6:30 Pacific. But yeah, man, check us out, and man, appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Definitely wanted to talk about that, man. Definitely have to talk about this. I think that, listen, keep it real. Don't fake the funk, man. You guys that's been touting what Jack Move Johnny is doing and what Sick Humor has been doing and saying, y'all been doing it. So, you know, y'all gonna change up, then admit that you was wrong and accept it, take your L, and just move on with it. I'll take that, because everybody can't be right all the time. But don't try to be cute about it and then 3-4 years later say, I've always had this stance, and then you start showing some user number shit and then try to talk about, oh man, PC, man, golly, God of War or Spider-Man 2 sold how many on PC? Oh man, golly, don't do that. Don't do that, because I'm telling you, there's people out there that holds receipts. I ain't that type of dude. I just remember. But there's people that holds those receipts. So that's what I'm saying. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Oh man, Chris over there, he's over here having a conniption. Thank you, JD Gamer. Thank you for the support, man. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, I can't wait for Yakuza. You know what I'm saying? That's all this. Look, like I said, all these things were bound to happen. I'm just waiting for the big one, because I got so much hell because of Persona said that the game was niche. And now look, if you start seeing people are starting to say niche, it's not like I didn't make the word up or nothing, but I'm saying when I said that Persona was a niche game, I got so much hate. Like, I think that was the biggest hate that I ever got since I've been a YouTuber. I got so much hate. Now I see people saying that word about trying to defend Death Stranding. Well, it's niche. It's this. Oh, so it's cool to say that, like, I guess 2 years later. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all dudes, y'all stands be cracking me up, man. Anyway, but that's right. Go Rams. You know what I'm saying? We got a big game coming up Sunday. I can't wait. Try to beat those Cowboys. And then we got that big game against them Niners. Woo, Lord have mercy. They balling this year. But everybody, thank you so much. Until the next video, which probably won't be anything. I'll probably be streaming. That's what I'll be doing. And then doing GRG Friday. Thank you. Can't wait to talk about the VGAs. That'll be definitely something we'll be talking about. So everybody have a good one. Peace. Much love.